Alright guys, we are back again with a new video with a title Trump busted by court for lying to judge. This video is by Midas Touch. Please make sure to check the original video link given in the description as well. I'm interested in US politics and I do reaction on political videos of US. Please excuse my accent, I'm not a native speaker. So let's start the video without wasting any time. Here we go.
This is Michael Popak, Legal AF. If it is a day of the week, it must be time.
I'll give a review in the end of the video, so please make sure to watch the video fully.
Mislead a judge about a case that they're presiding over. What are we talking about now? E. Jean Carroll's case, her second one, this time for punitive damages in the tens of millions of dollars against Donald Trump, starts in federal court on Tuesday. And Donald Trump knows no shame and has tried in two different court proceedings to try to use the excuse, and that's what I'm going to call it, of the death of his mother-in-law and her funeral on Thursday in Florida as an excuse to delay the inevitable, which is court proceedings that involve him and hundreds of millions of dollars. Last week, we told you here on the Midas Touch Network and on Legal AF that Donald Trump was trying to use the excuse of his mother-in-law dying to try to postpone outright the New York civil fraud case closing arguments, the ones that Donald Trump ended up appearing at, because, I don't know, he was in mourning over the death of his mother-in-law and he couldn't do anything else. That can't be it, because he was on the campaign trail and posting on social media regularly all about these things. So that was an excuse that Judge Engoron completely ignored as being untrue, and it couldn't possibly be the reason why they needed to delay the closing arguments over one day, a week before the mother-in-law's actual funeral. But Donald Trump, knowing no shame, likes to attack the judges for being what he calls heartless, because they won't give him a free pass to take off unlimited amounts of time in order to attend a funeral of his mother-in-law. And he tried it again. He tried to mislead the federal judge, Lewis Kaplan. And instead of doing what you're supposed to do in federal court practice, which I know well from practicing in that particular courthouse, which is you send a motion, a well-prepared motion supported by a declaration under oath by somebody like Donald Trump, in which you say, these are the reasons that I need a delay in the proceedings that have already been set. In this case, the trial set for Tuesday. And, here's my doctor's note, or here's the funeral arrangements, or here's on this particular moment in time, there's no way I could make it. Here's the funeral director's declaration. Here's the declaration from Melania.
So simply, he wanted to postpone the proceedings.
From an evidentiary standpoint, your request to delay the inevitable. That's not what Donald Trump's lawyers did. Donald Trump's lawyers did what they did in the New York State Supreme Court. They lobbed in an email like it was just a clerical issue or administrative issue that could be dealt with, the delay for a week of the trial. And they said, the mother-in-law died. He's got to go to the funeral. We need to postpone this trial. And the judge took one look at that. And it was completely unsupported by any declarations or affidavits or proper motion practice. The other side hadn't responded to it. And we're getting awfully close to the trial. So the judge on his own, what we call sua sponte, issued an order that said denied. The trial goes forward. I'm sorry, my condolences, but the trial goes forward as planned. We've got a jury panel, what's called a jury veneer, that's already been selected. It's usually up to 40 or 50 people. They've already cleared their decks and made their arrangements to come in. And then you've got all the other things that go along with Donald Trump attending a trial, which is security measures and Secret Service and federal marshals and the like. We know when Donald Trump's circus comes to town on purpose, it's done for maximum collateral damage and impact and show. And so mindful of that, Lewis Kaplan, the judge, denied it. I am sure part of the reason he denied the trial, and we have a new order by him today explaining exactly why he did that, including that he believes he was hoodwinked in a footnote where he says, well, you say you can't make the trial. You're going to New Hampshire on Wednesday night for a rally, for a fundraiser or whatever you're doing. He said it matter-of-factly, but I'm sure the judge was annoyed. The judge is probably annoyed at Donald Trump going back to the first trial. Remember, this is the E. Jean Carroll second trial. This one for punitive damages for statements Donald Trump made while he was president of the United States and defamed her, having raped her, sexually assaulted her in a dressing room in New York in the 1990s, and then lied about it and defamed her as a result. said that she was crazy, a crackpot. Look at her, not my type. She's shaking me down. It's a hoax, things like that. And the judge has already declared that on liability, Donald Trump is dead. He's cooked. His goose is cooked. It's already been found as a matter of law that he did defame her. The only issue for this jury that's going to be picked on Tuesday, and I'll tell you about that procedure in a minute, is how big of a check they're going to have Donald Trump write for punitive damages and actual damages for having defamed her again, intentionally inflicting emotional distress and the like on her. That's the only purpose of the jury in this case. Now, the reason why the request is ridiculous and an obvious attempt as a sham for Donald Trump to lie to another court is because of if you line it up against the procedures and the logistics of what's going to happen at the trial. And then, as I said before, there's a backstory here, which I'm sure annoyed the judge. Let me tell the backstory first, then we'll fast forward to what's going to happen on Tuesday. And then I'll line it up with the Thursday funeral in Florida, which he can fly in for in the morning on his supersonic jet or whatever he flies around in. Trump won. What happened last time is that Donald Trump elected not to attend any day at all, from jury selection, opening statements, the case in chief for the plaintiff, the case in chief for the defense, closing arguments in the first E. Jean Carroll case. Not at all. In fact, Joe Tacopina is quoted as saying at that time, and let me get the exact quote, that the logistical and financial burdens were concerning to Donald Trump, and that's why, Your Honor, my client is not going to attend. Okay? So he made a choice, what I call Trump 1.0, where he didn't attend any of the hearings or trials, and you see how that went for him. He lost, $5.5 million. He wouldn't have won had he showed up, but I'm sure the disdain of not showing up for a woman who claims and successfully proved that she was raped didn't go over well with that jury, that first jury. And so that was the reason he didn't go. And then he threatened, when the case was going south quick, when E. Jean Carroll did, as a heroine, did a masterful, courageous job in testifying, and nobody backed up any part of Trump's defense, he threatened to come back. And the judge, this same Judge Kaplan, called his bluff and said to Tacopina, the lawyer representing Donald Trump, your client wants to testify. I hear he wants to testify. I'll make time for him to testify. It has to be tomorrow. And then Donald Trump said, I'm sorry, I'm in Scotland at a ribbon cutting for one of my golf courses. I'm not kidding. And he didn't show up. And the judge says, all right, put it on the record that he's not arriving. He was given the opportunity to testify, and he elected not to do it. And Joe Tacopina looked at the judge and said, I can't control my client. You know who I'm representing. It's all on the record. And so the judge has that as a background. Donald Trump not participating in his prior trial. And so why should anybody bend over backwards to help him now, despite the fact that he lost his mother-in-law? Especially when the judge made it clear in the order, and in this new order I'm going to read to you, that he's free to attend any day and not attend any day. It's not like a criminal trial where Donald Trump has to show up every day. In fact, there's plenty of cases I've been involved with where lawyers or witnesses or even a defendant or plaintiff can't make a certain day of a long trial, and you just explain it to the jury. You tell them they're excused from court today and it shouldn't be held against them. You don't have to say anything maudlin, like, oh, Donald Trump's mother-in-law died and that's why he's not here, because it's probably not the reason why he's not there. But you could say he's been excused by the court and you're not to hold that against him, and you move on in the trial day.
So this is the video. The first of all, my question is, what is the future of Trump? What is the future of Trump cases, Trump trials? What is going to happen in November 2024? Are you going to vote for Trump? Are you going to vote against Trump? You can tell me in the comment section. And I'm not a native speaker. Please excuse my accent. I'm interested in US politics. I'm interested in US. So that's why I do reactions on political videos of US. If you're interested in politics as well, please make sure to subscribe to my channel so that we can meet again. So that's it for now. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.